Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And we are taking a look at D&D Day and some questions that have cropped up. What are those questions? What could they be? Well, there's some questions circulating amongst you two dungeon tubers, I think. They kind of have taken on the mantle, the name. Dungeon tubers, people that have D&D channels on YouTube, many of which are becoming, quote unquote, endangered. So we'll see. There's Vince in the chat. Welcome, Vince. Also, welcome to Daniel Caldwell, who joined the Patreon. There's a free level, so feel free to join. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and all that stuff. It very much helps let me know that there's people out there still watching this. When the views get reduced to zero, I might keep making it. I don't know. I enjoy taking the time and doing it. It's a fun thing for me, and it allows people to avoid a weekly wellness check to find my body. What? No, I'm kidding. I'm not in that bad a shape. But, it just helps me keep in touch with the game, too, because it keeps me interested in looking things up and whatnot. And that's what D&D Day. What? So that was Monday. I don't know. I didn't actually play or run in any games in or around right there. I was working at the store on Monday. There was a D&D game being played that day. I did enjoy talking to some of the people that were there and getting a chance to say hello to everybody that was playing and listening on their game and kind of live vicariously through them, which was fun. But my main activity for D&D game or D&D Day this week is picking up on this Dungeoneers or what it's a Dungeon Tubers questionnaire, and it's pretty simple. I don't know. It's just a sort of a. Somebody says there's no audio. Vince, are you convinced there's still no audio? Because it's showing up as fine on my video here. So unless you tell me there isn't, I'm going to assume it's all working just fine. Maybe your mute is on over there. It's me, sorry. Thank goodness I don't have to start from scratch. Well, let's talk about these questions. The questions going around. Mike's here. Hey, how you doing, Mike? Thanks for dropping in today. The questions are pretty simple. Hey, I'll just lay them all out real quick. What's my favorite RPG to run? What about to play? So kind of a two-parter at the start. Do I ever wish I covered more than just D&D? Well, we'll get to that. What RPG opinions have I changed over time? Pretty straightforward questions. Taking the first one, what's my favorite RPG to run? What about to play? They both are first edition AD&D, of course, for me. To play, though, I would also say I enjoy and try to get in games of original D&D at GaryCon, so I would have to include that as a when I try to play. That's definitely something on the radar, and I don't exclude any of the early D&D. I've played some basic at GaryCon when the scenario seemed right, or the DM was somebody I wanted to get a chance to game with again over time. As far as favorite to play is still first edition, though. So let's just stick with that as the answer. Do I ever wish I covered more than just D&D? And this is, Dungeon Tuber talk on the channel they're asking. And I say I do cover more. All sorts of events or things around Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Events and news, particularly about the local conventions, such as GaryCon, EGGCon, Dragon Days Festival in the early fall. Of course, I also cover other D&D related locations like 330 Center Street, which is the birthplace of D&D, the Geneva Lake Museum, which has the Wizard of Lake Geneva exhibit to Gary Gygax there. Stuff at the Lake Geneva Public Library. They have a D&D program there. They also have the Appendix N section of the library as sort of a shrine to Gary, and all of these places are great. And of course, Lake Geneva Games, which I help manage since kind of semi-retiring up here to Lake Geneva. And actually, I've been here since been here 12 years, and I've been there since 2016, just about 9. So I was here a few years before I jumped on board over there. I played there, of course, and gamed over there and all that stuff. But, and I cover that sort of thing on social media in other places, and occasionally I pick up on stuff like that for the channel. Second Sunday at Lake Geneva Games is still the old school gaming day, so if you want to start up an old school game, there's always a room there on second Sunday for that. So, do these things and have some fun with it. What RPG opinions have I changed over time? I think in general, because I ran and played a lot of the more modern editions, let's say 3.0, 3rd edition forward, I played some 4th edition. I didn't run so much. My opinion on that was that it was really rules for a miniature skirmish game, and that there were better rules for miniature skirmish games out there. There's so many. So with kind of a veneer. But 3rd edition was pretty heavily mechanic based. Lots of rules. 5th edition, a little less so. Maybe because most of the mechanics are more steeped in narrative flavor. But my opinion has become over time that, there was a time when I would have thought any D&D is D&D and any RPG is lots of fun. I used to play Traveler. I used to play all sorts of the early games. I've tried other ones over the years, but my opinion that has changed over time is that less is more. So 1st edition, as much as people like to think that it's 3 thick books, no, 1 book is all monster stats, and 1 book is 99% DMing advice. You know that. We cover it here. The amount of rules that exist, when you consider half the player's handbook is just spells and how they work, rather than actually how to play. Most stuff is simple. It's and at their core, I think most RPGs are, the game master lays out what you see, what you know, kind of facilitates, is your eyes and ears, your senses to the world that exists, the setting. It lays it out for you. You make a choice as a player. You describe what you're doing. The game master then either, because it's obvious what the consequences are, will just tell you, or will randomize different possibilities and tell you then what the consequences are. Rinse and repeat. RPGs, there it is. It's all that simple. Rinse and repeat. Should have an ampersand in the middle of that, and let that be the name of my, hey, trademarked. Let that be the name of my 1-page gaming RPG rules. Rinse and repeat. There we go. R&R. You want to get some R&R in this weekend? So, yeah, my opinions are that everything boils down to that. That has come to be my belief over time. So there's the last question. Hey, thanks everybody for being in the chat today. I very much appreciate it. We've been looking at what happened over D&D Day. I hope you had a great one. And we've been answering some questions that the dungeon YouTubers have been passing around. Dungeon tubers. That's what it is. Don't forget, the show streams live on Twitch each Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central, and then it's archived on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, all of those great things. It's very much appreciated. And help me make more of these videos like this one by becoming one of my supporters. There's a free level, so just jump on board. Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games is one of my Patreon supporters. Carlos Lysing of Castle Entertainment. Heath Varnden of the Andy D&D 20. Dave O'Brien. Heidi and Eric Gygax Garland of Gaxland. Vince Ragusa, a.k.a. the Vince himself, also lead singer and guitarist of the Maroon Room, a prog rock band. Unauthorized user Daniel Caldwell joined the ranks. He's the guy behind Griffin and Gargoyle, who we hope to eventually see here in Lake Geneva as a great location. And, as always, DM extraordinaire Shane Bradley. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.